Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? And so I was thinking about my life and this journey to healing. I always think that healing is a process. I think it's more about a journey. I don't think there's a destination here. I don't know that there will ever be a moment in time in which I'm like, yep, I'm healed, got it all figured out. Let me go about my life. See you later. I think that it is a forever process because, again, if you take into consideration that we are the sum total of all of our experiences leading up to this moment, then there's going to be more moments, there's going to be more experiences, there's going to be more growth, there's going to be more things that we learn, discover, and uncover as we go down this journey. But in the process of that, I think understanding who you are starts with your values. And I've talked about this before. And then through your values, everything funnels through it. The decisions you make, the choices you make, the way you show up in the world, the way you have the inner dialogue, the way you talk to even your inner child or reparent yourself, your wants, your needs, your interests, the things you say yes to, the things you say no to, everything flows through the foundation of those values. And so as I've gone through this journey in my own life, I think to myself, all right, what are my values? Well, when I first started this, I had no idea. So let's say for context, you have no idea what your values are. You've never thought about it. This is the first time this has ever come up in concept. Well, how did I discover my values? 7, 8 years ago, somewhere in that window, I was listening to a podcast, and this was before podcasts are what they are today. And the person on the show was like, everything's about values. You have to know who you are. You have to know what you stand for. And they start rattling off some values, right? So let's say they rattle off mine: honesty, kindness, self-actualization, and leadership. So those are my values. How do you figure out your values? Well, let's pretend it's 7, 8 years ago. I was listening to this podcast. Let's do what I did. I grabbed a dictionary, literally grabbed a dictionary, or I went on dictionary.com. And what I did was I took a piece of paper and just started writing all the words about the person I thought that I could be. And then I was reading the definitions of the words and I was trying to figure out, does this align with my life? Does this make sense of who it is that I want to be or who it is that I believe I am? And so I took a handful of words that I thought immediately, and I read the definitions and I looked at the definitions and I wrote out the word. And then I wrote how that word applied in my life, what the definition of that word meant in my life. Now, I will tell you this: removed from that day, my values are very different because I have a better understanding of who I am. I have far, far more clarity about who it is that I am today than I did then. And hopefully, this will hold true in 10 years. I don't know that your values have to forever be the same once you decide what they are. And my values certainly have changed. I would say the four: honesty, kindness, leadership, self actualization, those are steadfast. I would be very surprised if they changed anytime soon. So I sat down and I wrote down the values. And then I started thinking about the way that they interact and they parlay in my life. How do I use them as this filtering system or this funneling system to do all the things that I want to do in my life? And then I started doing all the things that I wanted to do in my life through that system, through asking myself, am I being honest? Am I being self actualized? Am I being kind? Am I being a leader? Right. And a leader for me always starts with me first. You have to be a leader of your own life before you can lead someone else. And so the further and deeper that I got into these actions around my values, the closer I got to understanding me. And in that, that also started playing a role in the way that I did things like choose a therapist or choose a coach or choose a course that I attended or whatever that thing may have been. So the deeper that you get into understanding yourself, the further you have massive consideration around the choices that you're making in alignment with your values. So let's say you have your values, you have your actions, you're doing a lot of things that are in alignment with the direction that you believe you should be going. Well, how do you know when you heal? Again, I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. I wish I had a moment in which I can say, this is the magic number. This is how it works to know for certain that you have healed. I don't know that that happens because even for myself, I'm like, well, I still have to do the work. I still have to learn. I still have to have my coach, have my therapist. I do my things, right? So, what about on the way to maybe if that moment happens? Well, I think about that moment a lot and those individual moments that add up over time to help me understand better who I am today. And those moments involve a word called peace.